This chart tracks the usage of the name Dina in the United States over the last century. You can see the trajectory ending at rank 8,510 in 2023. Today, a newborn named Dina is essentially a statistical phantom. To the modern ear, the name sounds incredibly light. It consists of just two crisp syllables, Dina. It lacks the elaborate frills or complex vowel clusters that dominate current naming trends. But that clean, unassuming sound is deceptive. Beneath that straightforward exterior lies a complex history defined by ancient retribution and a heavy cultural legacy that most modern parents might not expect. This traditional Hebrew scroll reveals the name's origin, the root Dina, meaning judged or vindicated. In Genesis, Dina is the daughter of Jacob and Leah. Her story in chapter 34 is an intense narrative centered on victimhood, justice, and brutal retribution by her brothers. Historically, these biblical roots lent the name a sense of gravitas and resilience within Jewish communities. It carried a weight of survival and historical memory that stands in stark contrast to its breezy modern pronunciation. This is the central paradox of Dina, how a name tethered to ancient vengeance transformed into a symbol of gentle, mid-century approachability. The shift began with parallel cultural threads. In Old English, the word dene referred to a deep valley, or a nature-inspired deep place, lending the sound a topographical, grounded feel. The name also appeared in 18th century North America. One prominent figure, a Native American woman of the Lenape tribe named Dina, was known for her role in mediating conflicts between local tribes and early European settlers. This theme of seeking balance is reflected in the name's numerology. It is associated with the number 9, which in numerological tradition signifies a humanitarian spirit and a sense of universal compassion. When we look at these disparate influences, from the Hebrew judged to the English valley and the Lenape mediator, we see a name that has accumulated layers of meaning across very different cultures. Together, these diverse roots contribute to the modern perception of Dina. It is often described as possessing a quiet strength, an air of approachability that draws from a long history of depth and mediation. This wide view of a mid-century suburban street captures an era when American naming culture was changing. Following the Second World War, there was a trend toward names that felt traditional but sounded crisp and optimistic. Dina fit this new aesthetic perfectly. It acted as a bridge, offering the perceived resilience of a biblical name with a modern two-syllable sound that felt both familiar and distinctive to young families. Its identity further evolved as it became used as a shortened, contemporary form of blended names like Deanne or Deneen, moving it further away from its strictly religious origins. We can track this surge in the data. From just over 100 births in 1944, the count of newborns named Dina rose consistently through the 1950s and 60s, eventually climbing into the top 400 nationwide. The name reached its height of popularity in 1970, with 1,541 girls receiving the name that year, before it began a long, steady decline in usage. This 1970 peak represents the moment where Dina's light, mid-century identity finally surpassed its heavy, ancient history in the public consciousness. From the late 1970s onward, the data shows a clear shift. As American cultural tastes moved away from mid-century simplicity, Dina's numbers dropped, eventually falling out of the top 1,000 by the late 90s. Today, Dina stands in contrast to the ornate, multi-syllabic names that currently trend. For modern parents, its rarity allows it to stand out as a choice that feels distinctive precisely because it is no longer common. This shift in the data allows the name to be appreciated for its understated elegance. Its relative rarity today highlights the timeless quality of its deep Hebrew and nature-based roots. Ultimately, Dina serves as a linguistic chameleon. It manages to hold ancient biblical gravitas in one hand and mid-century grace in the other. With its diverse history, the name is often associated with a particular set of character traits, a perceived sense of justice, a nurturing spirit, and an intuitive wisdom. It shows that a name doesn't need to be elaborate to be significant. Behind every simple two-syllable name like Dina, there lies a deep valley of history and enduring resilience.